And law is shifting, and the old map doesn't work anymore. This is Legal Pirates, a podcast for founders, operators, and personal injury leaders who don't wait for permission to lead change. We are category designers and collaboration friendly. Each episode explores the moves reshaping how law is built, delivered, and trusted. One question guides every conversation. What map are you using now that the old one no longer works? Let's navigate the shift. Hey guys, I'm here with Eric and Eriquez of Inquiry. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for coming on, pal.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, so Inquiry is a startup that helps attorneys surface key facts from large medical case files. It's a business that my co-founder and I started 2 years ago. We studied computer science at Stanford together, so we saw the writing on the wall for AI coming up.
Oh, at Stanford.
And, it was a good time. It was a good time. But we knew that AI was going to change a lot of industries, especially document-heavy ones. And so we were already keeping an eye out for interesting ideas across various spaces. But eventually we met a physician who does independent medical exams, which are often used as expert witness testimonies in medical legal case trials.
Oh.
And so these physicians are looking through the patient's medical history to try to understand the entire journey of their treatment, what they went through, causation, liability. They're trying to assign some amount of responsibility to the different events in the case file. And so
The physicians are.
Okay. So we started building tools for them. And then as we learned more about kind of the litigation process involved, why their work matters and why it exists, that naturally led us obviously to the attorneys who are also doing a lot of the same case research. So you actually have an entire ecosystem of legal professionals looking at medical records over and over and over again to try to understand what this patient went through and how the different facts associated with their case influence who is responsible for paying what amount and eventually getting injured workers their settlements. And I say injured workers because our background and focus has been in workers' compensation so far. We do plan to expand, but that's been our major focus for the first couple of years of our life.
Amazing. So there was a lot there. So let me try to unpack for a minute. So you went to Stanford. Awesome. Computer science.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? And then after graduating, a couple of years or so, you got into this. Like, how long was that process?
So when we graduated,
excuse me.
I was a software engineer at DoorDash working on data infrastructure.
Oh.
So there's actually a lot of similar technical problems that I was working on.
So you have real technical experience.
Yeah, it was fun. So we were working on large scale
data
systems.
You're in that Bay Area, that creative hub of the world.
Exactly. And so I was in Silicon Valley where everyone's starting tech companies. So of course it was the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So sooner or later I knew it would be my turn. I think it came sooner than I thought. But,
right.
Definitely influenced by the culture there as far as like wanting to start the business. And my co-founder, when he graduated, he was a quantitative trader at a hedge fund on Wall Street, but also working on like data infrastructure kind of problems. So we were like, where can we take our skills and be useful outside of like these large corporations? We knew we wanted to start a business, and it led us here.
So you have what it sounds like a deep technical expertise and understanding. That's what you do, right, Eric?
That is the bet that we're taking, that being the most technical team in the space and, the founders who can listen to what you're saying and write the code and turn it around in 24 hours is how we compete with some of the more established players.
So when you say that, do you mean that you're kind of building this around each firm, or just like innovating as you go with your clients?
Yeah, so we take this model, especially because we're earlier on, where every new client that we get, we are building this around their workflow and even customizing to some degree that might be unreasonable for a larger company to make those investments. But we make it fit like a glove for every new customer that we get. And we take those learnings and turn it into core product that we can then, take those learnings and go to other attorneys or other physicians and say, you can actually learn from the way that your peers are reviewing and doing these things.
Interesting.
Yes, our focus is right now on delivering the most custom product to every single client that we work with.
That's phenomenal. It also sounds to me like a differentiator, right? Because these other tools are not as customizable to each firm. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think configurability is a huge reason that we have been able to establish a foothold here. Is just like we turn what in another platform might be 10 or 15 clicks, we can turn it all the way into one because we know exactly what you need, and we'll just make a button for you to kind of get whatever output you
So
need.
this is like it sounds to me like a perfect, because the debate is always like build versus buy, you know?
Yeah.
So this sounds like a perfect marriage, or a hybrid model almost,
Exactly.
where it's like a custom, but also, enterprise software.
Exactly.
Or
So
AI.
at this stage, it feels like working with a team of engineers, and of course, like having this in house and just saying, here are the requests that I have for how this evolves.
Oh, amazing.
But of course, we are building a platform underneath that we can eventually serve to the rest of the market. But it does feel to each of our customers like they have an in-house team of engineers that
Well,
they're
that's special,
paying.
having a direct line, and it seems special to me, having a direct line to the customer and what pain points you're solving.
Yeah, so we have an internal like metric that we need to talk to at least one customer or user every single day.
Good for you.
And so we try to keep our finger on the pulse and just not make sure that we're getting lost in our ideas and theories of what the world is, and actually staying grounded in like what are the pains that people are having and what do we need to solve today so that tomorrow they can do their work a little bit better.
Amazing. So it seems to me customizable, fast. You're working with a team of almost in-house engineers. But you're not, like you said, you're not boiling the ocean and trying to do so many things. You seem very focused on these medical records.
Yeah, exactly. So I think focus is a good word for why we're differentiated. Because we started as a product for physicians, we go a lot deeper into what I'll call the chewing of the medical record, which is cleaning it up and making sure that it's really useful context for AI systems to interpret. I think they'll get really confused by there being multiple dates on a page, or some of the way that the layout on the page might be spreading information could confuse a model. So if you just throw it all in there, that's when you end up getting a lot of hallucinations. But because we take the time to understand and model the medical record directly, we produce basically higher quality summaries than kind of anybody else in the space. So anybody can produce something that looks like a summary, but something that is accurate, relevant, and complete, I think is a much harder problem than a lot of other companies will like to admit.
So that kind of reminds me, when I was working with, and I'm still working with, this AI coach for the last year or so, and he's an engineer by trade, and he always says, instead of building this huge workflow that you want to build, be very, very good on this small little slice and pain point and outcome. And then make that perfect before you expand it. Is that kind of the model that you're seeing?
That's definitely the approach that we're trying to take. The bar we try to hold ourselves to is, can we be the best in the world at the things that we do?
Amazing.
And it's hard to do that for many things at once. And so we're keeping laser focus until we kind of,
I think everybody can relate to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. I mean, you gotta believe that about your business.
Right.
Yeah.
No, also like the focus, we all want to do all these different things, but it's the focus that really, makes somebody great at what they're doing.
There is a constant pull to build the next feature for the next market or the next customer who's asking for this thing. So saying no is often a lot harder than saying yes to new requests.
The heart of strategy.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
what you say no to.
Sounds like you know.
I do. I've been there.
Tough decisions in there.
Awesome. So you were at the conference, the AI for PI Expo, as an attendee.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing in the marketplace? Like, what are the biggest insights for you from being an attendee?
Yeah, it was fascinating. So I think a lot of the attendees here, I mean, they were self-selected people who are interested in AI, but I think that they were much more adept at using kind of the ecosystem of AI tools, from ChatGPT to Claude, than honestly I expected. A lot of folks experimenting with skills and projects in Claude, which just help organize information, which eventually is what helps produce solid outcomes. So I thought that was really, really cool. On the flip side, I still felt like very few of them were settled in on their systems. I think everyone's still in an experimentation phase where they're, I mean, things are moving fast always, so there's a constant learning process. But it didn't feel like anybody was very committed to exactly the workflow that they had, which is honestly an exciting place to be. It means that by talking to your peers, by having these conversations, by showing up to these conferences, there's still a lot of information to be learned, from everyone else.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what we're seeing with AI visibility as well, and being recommended in these LLMs, is that things are just like, it's such a shifting experimental phase right now,
Yeah.
that things haven't like hardened.
Exactly.
So it's an exciting place to be as well.
Yeah.
And for the people that kind of take advantage first, they'll be locked in later.
Yeah.
And as these LLMs kind of learn them. Am I right?
Exactly. No, I totally agree. And I think the only thing I'm trying to highlight here is that everyone's doing something a little bit different because there's so many ways to like slice up all the different tooling available. And so, yeah, just having these conversations is incredibly useful for us as product builders, but also for everyone in the ecosystem, whether they're vendors or attorneys or anyone else.
I absolutely love the focus and being the best at one particular thing and solving one particular problem at a time. So that's awesome. Kudos to you, Eric.
Appreciate that.
And where can people find you?
Yeah, so our website at www.inquiry.ai.
How do you spell inquiry? Because it's a little different.
Yeah, fair enough. It's INQUERY. So it's a little play on the spelling for the search queries. I won't get into it, but yeah, you can find us online, or if people can find me on LinkedIn. I don't know if you'll be linking anything. I'm always pretty responsive.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Eric Enriquez. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Yeah, thanks.
Pleasure.
Cool. Thanks for listening to Legal Pirates. Remember, the old rules aren't coming back. Follow the show and keep charting your own course. We'll see you next time.